And I want to welcome you to this week's episode of the CVC Home Service Success Network, presented each and every week by the CVC Success Group, except the weeks that we're traveling. So, to be honest with you, next week we'll all be at the National Chimney Sweep Guild Convention. So, next Friday we will not be posting a weekly broadcast like we usually do. So please accept our apologies, and I hope I'm sure you'll be able to get by and all that. But next week there will be no topic, no broadcast or whatever. But we really appreciate you being here today because we have a subject matter that I think can touch a lot of us and touches a lot of human beings. And that is the subject of change and how painful change can be, because a lot of people want to go a certain direction in life and want to aspire to be something, but it's going to involve pain. It's like my friend Josh there. He's going through a lot of pain right now. He decided to embark on a physical fitness program, lose some weight, and he's getting his butt thrown around a jiu-jitsu studio on a regular basis every day now. But he's also said this has been a thing that has changed his life tremendously. So, but again, embarking on this was definitely painful. So, Josh, let's start with you on this. Why did you decide, and what takes you through this pain of the change in life that you're going through? Right before we got on this broadcast, he's sitting there rubbing some kind of medicinal stuff into his elbow where he then got thrown around and whooped up again by some young brute that's in that jiu-jitsu class he's in. So, Josh, tell us about your decision and the pain that you've gone through.
It was about, my story is not that different from Steve Sobsack's. I was extremely depressed, and, I had internal family stuff going on, and I was eating extremely poorly. I wasn't motivated to do anything. I think the reason I chose jiu-jitsu and what I really like to it is there's almost there's an accountability aspect to it that it's stupid expensive to do. It's like I can go to the gym. I don't miss the $25 for the gym membership if I don't go, right? Jiu-jitsu is very expensive. I like my class. I like my people in there. I like seeing, I become friends with them. It's changed my life. I wasn't drinking during the worst part of my life anyways, but I was doing, I don't mind telling people I was doing a lot of marijuana to sleep because I was so depressed. Like I said, I was eating super poorly. I'm craving better health foods. I'm craving fitness, which is a weird thing to say. As I was just telling Jerry before if I'm sitting at home for too long and I haven't been to the gym because I do 6 a.m. jiu-jitsu, I have to go by lunchtime. I'm on a treadmill because I have extra energy now. I will say one of the biggest things is more focus because I remember I would get brain fog all the time, and I don't feel that brain fog. I feel like even when I was working out when I was a young man, I would get brain fog from working out. Now I feel like I have more focus in general too to get tasks done.
Yep, I understand. So again, you got inspired actually when we interviewed Steve Sobsack on this broadcast. I believe that was a big turning point for you, that something clicked in your brain at that point and you decided to pursue this. Am I correct?
Yeah, the thing he said that really, because I'd been talking to Steve for a while and I'd followed his journey, and I told him he was, I'd always joke with him that he was the envy of all the middle-aged men. He was the hot ticket now of middle-aged white men. So I'd always send him, things like that. But the thing he said the most that stuck with me that day, that really, really stuck with me was, I have 3 daughters, and at the time I wasn't talking to one of my daughters, and, he just wanted his daughter to be proud of him. Not really.
Yeah,
that really
and it
stuck.
was. Yeah. And I think the broadcast we did with Steve was very inspiring. So that's Josh's story. But anyway, dealing back with this, we see so many people. This week, I attended a conference in Las Vegas, Nevada for Roller Boys. And when I went in there, what I saw was tremendous results for people that are actively using this software and seeing where it's taking their technician sales up to an all new level. But I also saw that Rilla was introducing more and more features to this software. Just this week, they released a whole new app to go out, different things. And this has all got to be painful. In fact, they released a new part of this on this week, which was objection tracking. So they now have the ability in this software to track the objections. But here's the problem. A lot of technicians are just unwilling to use this software. They're just unwilling. It could be they have a fear of being recorded or whatever it is. But my friend Cheryl here, she actually went through Ziegler coaching and training at the Ziegler Corporation. And she learned a lot in that about how human beings are victims of habit and going through change, because change is going to require you to change your habits. It's just like Josh, you're talking about getting up this day and time and being at the gym at 6 a.m. to get thrown around the ring. That was a change in your lifestyle that you had to make. So, Cheryl, what could you offer to this for advice to people that face where they want to go, but they just cannot focus? They cannot make the change in their habits to make it happen. What's the message for these people?
Well, the thing about it is nobody can make you change. It's an inner self, and that's where the problem comes. If you don't have the faith and the ability and the desire to want to change, you will alter it for a while, but before you know it, you're going to be right back. It's like Josh. Josh, if he doesn't stick with this, he will change back to the old Josh. And I'm going to give an example of you. You used to could have slept till 10 o'clock if everybody would have left you alone. Now you're up every morning at 5. And I know that's painful for you. So you had to change that to be able to do what you do in your business. Everyone has something they want to change. But again, a habit is a habit, and you can alter it in a short period of time. But if you want to change it, it's a long haul.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Cheryl. People go through this and often can't sustain the change. And it could be something that happened, something that is a setback or whatever. But just like you said, we'll take the case of a person that has a alcohol problem. They are an alcoholic, and it makes no difference how much their family members complain to them, try to get them to change. They are not going to go through the pain of change until they make a dedicated decision. They're going to make this change. So how do people sustain the change? Because we see people all the time start to change, but then world events, whatever it is, halts them in their path. What do they do, Cheryl?
You just have to hold steady. There's no magic that will make it happen. You've got to have an interior suggestion that stops you from going back the old way. Because again, you're right. You always slide back. I mean, the statement is once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. They know they can't take that first drink. It's not the second or the third that'll change them. It's going back to the first drink. Drug addicts, anything like that. That's kind of way out of just the pain of changing your business. But the thing about it is, to keep it changed, number one, you've got to notice the value that it's changed. I'm going to use Josh again. He just listed a lot of things that felt different to him since he changed. Now he has got to keep those thoughts, just like a business and everything else. The things that improved when he made his change, or he'll go right back to the old Josh. And we all do. Your body's geared to what it is. And the only way, you're the only one that can control whether you change it back or not. If you let go of the reins and let it go backwards, that's your fault. It's all on you, because there's no magic that can make it happen.
Gotcha. So, Josh, let's go back to you. You raised your finger a while ago, so I know you got something to add into this discussion now. What else you got?
Well, for me, just going back to the fitness one, is it takes a while for the change to set in really and become part of your routine. And I really noticed it. Like I started first week of July with training jiu-jitsu. So right around December, January is when I'm like up before the alarm again, because I got to be up at 5 to get out the door at 5:30 to get to the gym by 6. Today I was up at 4:30, without an alarm. So that's part of, and it's natural for me to want to go do that now. I don't have the fears of, well, I'm just going to go back to bed. Like, no, I'm up. I want to go do this. I want to go work out. I want my crazy instructor who goes hard, who's super good to, for some reason bend my arm in unnatural ways.
Yeah. Well, let's take another one, Josh. There was a day in your life that you decided that you were going to put together processes, systems for Tri-County and for Magic Broom.
Yep.
And you did this because you were encountering pain, and putting this together, you've developed a phenomenal system there. But what sustained you through writing all those SOPs, all those flowcharts, all the things you've got in that site? What kept you going to continue to build this?
Anger first. Anger was a primary driver. 2, I wanted to be able to like take time off. Right. That's why why we do these things is because we think we're the best at what we do. 2, we want to be able to provide for our families, and 3, really because we want the vacation time. That's we want that quality of life, and I wasn't getting that quality of life because I was on call 24/7, and I wanted to be able to walk away from the business and not know it was going to implode.
Okay, I understand exactly. But one of the things is that change is painful. It's just like this week. I went through a heck of a time this week on travel. Is it going to stop me from traveling? No, I'm still going to travel. That's what I do for a living. I'm going somewhere just about every week. But there's going to be bumps in the road, just like this week. I left a conference in Las Vegas, had a red eye home, and I could sleep on the plane, and I was sleeping away. There's a few times we had some rough air, but I was sleeping away. And all of a sudden I heard come over the speaker, prepare the cabin for landing in Oklahoma City. I was not planning to visit Oklahoma City this week, but all of a sudden, because something happened, we had to make an emergency landing in Oklahoma City. Was it a little scary? Yeah, it was. When I heard we're landing in Oklahoma City, it's like, what in the world is wrong with this plane? And is it going to be able to make it down? All the fears come up. But American Airlines, they had to react. They brought another plane in from Dallas, Fort Worth. Did it delay us all? Yes. Did people miss connections? You better believe it, because I was one of the few people on that plane actually stopping in Charlotte, because most people coming to Charlotte are simply changing planes. But that's what's going to happen in life. As you decide to go through the change, there are going to be roadblocks. There's going to be road hazards that are going to come up to block your path. So, Cheryl, how do you prepare people for these road hazards and help them get through the hazards? Because in hiring, this is a constant source of frustration for so many people, is how to bring new people into the business, how to have new employees. I mean, every day I see people and they are promoting scale your business. I see Grant Cardone and everything. And my question is, to do this is going to require a couple of things. And one of them is people. So what is their secret for finding these people to scale this business? And so many people get frustrated. So Cheryl, you deal with this every day of frustrated clients that need people. How do you help them through this?
Basically, I actually try to find the best people for them. The thing is, once I do find a person, then you just have to make sure that they're taking care of that person when they get there, that they onboard them correctly, that they train them correctly. And that's another problem. That's a pain. It's a pain to train somebody. And so you just have to keep the motivation up. And I think that's the biggest word in the change of pain is the motivation, that you have to keep moving. As Josh did, you've got to move forward regardless of whether your chest is so tight you can breathe or what's going on. And it's the same way in business. If you want to have a larger force, you've got headaches coming and you've got changes. It's going to change your life. When these people quit, it changes. We see that. We have business owners having to go back on the end of the field because their employees they had employees that left. So now they've got to change back. They've got to go back into the field, but they've got to realize that's not their position. And they've got to go through the pain again of the hiring process so they can move back into the business they really need to be in. So it's a continual whirlwind, and it's not just in our industry, it's in all industries at this point.
Right. And I heard a really good seminar I sat through this week from my friend Joe Crucerio, and he's a coach, trainer in the HVAC and the plumbing industry. And the title of his seminar was "The Manager is Dead. The Coach is Now Taking Over." And talked about this is what you've got to do to be successful this day and time. You've got to train and coach your people. You've got to put them through the steps. You got to test them, but most of all, you've got to coach them. And that's what the RILA program is all about. It records conversations between technicians and clients, and then the artificial intelligence coaches the person through where they can improve. So again, it's an ongoing saga. It's everywhere out there. But again, if you're deciding to embark on change, you got to be prepared to go through some pain. I admire those people that make change because they're not in pain. Because if we look at statistics, most people that make change, they are in pain and they're trying to escape that pain. So Josh, you got any closing thoughts on this subject?
Not offhand, I don't.
Okay. Cheryl, what about you? Any closing thoughts?
The only thing I can tell someone to do is set your goal that you want to reach, whether it's physical, whether it's business, whether it's just improving yourself, and go for that goal. Don't give up on it. Are you going to have setbacks? Oh yeah, you're going to have setbacks, but you've got to pick yourself up and go forward, because somewhere at the end of that goal, there's a light that you're looking for, and you're the only person that can reach it.
That's it. So set your sights on where you're going. Be prepared. There's going to be some roadblocks sometimes. There's going to be some road hazards. There's going to be some detours you're going to have to make. You got to check on your progress. Keep going at it. Even when you're not feeling your best, you got to get up. The show must go on. And that's what it's all about, folks. So hopefully you can make the changes that you want to make in your life and your business and make it happen to where you get to that dream destination you have. And with that, we're going to wish you a best weekend, and we'll see you on the next episode of the CVC Home Service Success Network. It's truly an honor, it's a privilege, and it's a pleasure to be able to speak to you through this medium on a regular basis. Have a fantastic week. We appreciate you very much.